Kristina Newman-Scott. I'm the Director of Visual Arts here at Real Artways, and beside me is Yona, who is the co-curator for the show, Rockstone and Bootheel. We're really excited to be here to celebrate the show. It's the last day that the public will be able to enjoy it. I'll be able to enjoy it for 1 or 2 more days, but we're starting to take it down. So, unfortunately, it goes back to the Caribbean, where I wish I was going as well. But that's a whole other story.
But we thought it might be interesting to just give a little background and kind of what our experience was going to specifically Jamaica and Trinidad to meet, find out what was going on. We were really interested in working with artists who were dealing with contemporary issues that range from everything that have to do with the violence and crime to homophobia, to identity in a post-colonial world, etc. And we're also interested in looking at artists who may not necessarily be defined as fine visual artists in the Caribbean context. So this exhibition actually includes work by some of the leading music video directors working in, specifically in this case, Jamaica. And then the other interesting thing that made an impression on me when I went to Trinidad was that the artists working there were a lot more in touch internationally. And I think that was the direct result of the Caribbean Contemporary Art Center, which unfortunately closed a few years back. And that, I think, is a syndrome that you see throughout the English-speaking Caribbean. There was just a lack of local support for contemporary art. A lot of the work is not pretty. It doesn't have all the, pineapples and palm trees, and, it's hardcore work. And people don't collect it, and they're really, even the major art institutions and commercial galleries don't show that work. But what did happen in Trinidad after CCA closed, and while CCA was up and running, it brought a lot of artists from around the world to Trinidad, and curators as well. And so that created a new generation of artists who are much more proactive in terms of getting their work out internationally. And there are a lot of more artist-run spaces in Trinidad compared to what I saw in Kingston.
Also, what's interesting is that it's the music video directors and the bloggers, and to some extent photographers, because many of the photographers and filmmakers in Jamaica are the ones that are providing footage, artist interviews, etc. to people that put on shows in Europe. And so, these people are really functioning very much on a kind of, first world, so to speak, level in terms of how they're getting their work out. Because to them, they're not thinking about, okay, I'm an artist, I need these galleries or these curators to see my work. They're thinking, I need to get these pictures in this show, this guy wants to pay me this money to get this hair. And so the visibility is amazing. And so I just realized how important it is and how hungry the artists are for opportunities. And so, we were happy to kind of be of assistance, and Yona and I are continuing to be in touch with the people that are in charge of the Edna College. We're also going to hope in the future maybe help them facilitate some curatorial visits, some exchange programs, because it's really key. I mean, something as simple as an art forum magazine, which we take for granted here, we can pick up anywhere. The library there, because they're expensive, it's like 2,500 Jamaican dollars for an art forum, which is just ridiculous. It's, the dollar is 90 to 1.
2 more impressions that I had, and that's, we talked a lot about the homophobia that exists throughout the West Indies. And it was really interesting to see how some of the artists either addressed it directly or kind of in a more subtle way, but it's definitely present in the work because it's not discussed openly within society at large, unless it becomes like some kind of media crisis. And then the other impression I had in Trinidad was the influence of carnival in terms of how contemporary artists are making performance-based work and using work that is making work that is interactive in a much more profound way than I saw in the other islands.
You know, they're just the show, it says that we have 39 artists in the exhibition, but we actually have 38 artists on show here because there was an artist, Omari Rock, also known as African, who's a teacher in Jamaica, and his work was en route to Hartford when it was held by Customs in Kingston. The person that I had working for me sending it was arrested and jailed because they had found marijuana in a Bible that this artist has created. He created a Bible, and within the Bible he wrote profanity on the pages, and then he created a kind of insert area that a plastic gun sat in, and then he also made a machine gun out of wood. Now, I was under the assumption that because we're very kind of traditional, you know, there's a lot of people who take offense in this type of work, that this is why it was held, but then I later found out that the artist had put very, very old, maybe a teaspoon worth of marijuana that's literally 15 years old in varnish in the back of the Bible as a kind of discovery as you're flipping through the pages. And Yona and I had not flipped that far, and he didn't tell us that there was marijuana in this. So had we known that, I would not have said send it FedEx. We would have found another piece of work. So I had to get my friend out of prison, and the work didn't make it, but it's quite an interesting story. And you know, the artist, we explained the situation, the artist did not get in trouble, but it was quite the stressful 4 days for us.
Don't ask, don't tell. You don't ask, I tell. You don't ask, I tell. Rascal Afro Homo sapien. Rascal Afro Homo sapien. Black man time, no black man century. 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 Rascal Afro Homo sapien. Nigga man time, no nigga man century. 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 Nigga